Let me guess. You're constantly battling the unique demands of shift work, aren't you? Feeling relentless fatigue, brain fog, or the health challenges that come with those irregular hours. Well, it's time to stop just surviving your shifts and really start thriving. At A Healthy Shift, we're revolutionising workplace wellbeing for 24/7 teams. As a veteran shift worker for over 40 years, I know exactly what you're up against, and that's why we've built something truly groundbreaking, the seminar experience. Now, this isn't just a keynote, it's a completely new evidence-based program which is designed to empower entire shift-working workforces. I want you to imagine your team armed with the strategies to optimise their sleep, boost their energy, and elevate their health, no matter what schedule they're on. Our core keynote is powerful, but we also offer specialised add-on workshops, which cover deep dives into women in shift work, how to work your own roster optimally, as well as fatigue management for managers. We need your help to bring this transformation to your workplace. Managers want to invest in their teams, but they need to know that we exist. Are you ready to bring real, lasting change to your colleagues and your organisation? Go and visit ahealthyshift.com. That's ahealthyshift.com, and follow the seminar experience link up the top, where you can download our detailed e-brochure, or you can simply follow the link in the show notes. Let's help your workforce thrive, not just survive.
Roger Sutherland, it's a little thing we call a healthy shift. Here it is. Roger Sutherland, good morning. It's like you're sort of dancing into the studio, which is a nice buzzy feel. You've got a nice vibe about you here this evening.
Anyone that knows me knows, full of energy. My
like an ever-ready battery.
That's right. My charisma energy enters the room before I do. That's what they say, they reckon.
It's lovely to see you. We've not...
It's been forever.
It feels like forever. We haven't spoken, I don't think, this year.
No, I haven't been on this year. No. The last show actually was the 11th of December.
Was that
Can you believe it?
with on this program? But you were on Carol Lee with Carol Lee's program for...
Did you find out?
Yeah, I did. I said hello.
Did you find out about that? I don't know how you found out about that. I'm a bit disappointed.
I've been shafted again.
The beautiful Carol Lee invited me to come in and sit there, and I sat there. I skulked in, and I was looking around. I was hoping you weren't going to be around. And I sat with Carol Lee. We had a fantastic hour.
We negotiated a deal where she had you for a little bit for her program, so long as you came back to where it all began.
To where it all began. That's right. That's the important part, to come back to where it began. And then as a result of that as well, I actually had to go with Christina on 6PR in Perth.
Oh, the lovely Christine. Yes,
Christine's
Christine's wonderful. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
And I had a chat with her there as well. And as a result of that, we sort of spoke about FIFO over there, the fly-in, fly-out people.
That culture of fly-in, fly-out.
Which was really interesting. I've got a topic here that I'd like to talk about that to anyone that's listening from WA, and if they would call us and tell us what education do you get that supports you, because it's very brutal working fly-in, fly-out. And a lot of them, they have different rosters, but they might go away for a week and then on nights come back, do a week at home, then they go away for a week of days.
There's a lot of different models around it.
But there's very, very different models. So what education have you had as a fly-in, fly-out as to how to go about your sleep, your nutrition? What do you do?
All of the above. If you'd like to be part of it, we've got plenty of room on the board. You'll get through straight away, 133 693. For those that may not know, Roger is founder of A Healthy Shift. Is the name of the little business,
my business
entity, if you like. But a veteran law enforcement officer. How many years?
Just 40.
40, just a mere 40 years.
Decades.
So knows what he's talking about, has great insight into some of the issues. You and I, and for Adi and to others that are waiting, we'll get to you in just a moment. You and I had a bit of a chat prior to coming on last week, and I said one of the things that has occurred to me for a long time, based on the book that I read some time ago called, I think it was called Tipping Point.
Yes.
And in New York in particular, they looked at that model about increasing crime. Crime in that part of the world, in New York in particular, was out of control, was well documented. What are the things that they addressed over a sustained period of time? Cracking down on the little things.
Petty crime.
Petty
in the
crime.
early days.
Certainly things like graffiti in that part of the world.
Fair evasion.
Fair evasion, very simple. And I think the premise is if you sort of get people at that level and say, look, this is unacceptable, and we will actually chop you off at the knees should you continue to do that metaphorically.
Yeah, I agree.
Less likely then to offend and commit worst crime later on in life.
Well, I totally agree with you on that, because I think what we do is we lay a foundation. We lay a behavioural foundation with people. Now, I know there'll be current serving police officers right around the country at the moment going, you don't know what you're talking about, and I understand that. You drive around today. Now, you got to remember, police are not only driving around in a police car, they're in their own cars with their own families. They see everything, right? So, and I think people forget.
They can't not see it, Roger.
You can't not see it. You even driving around, Tony, you even notice people are not wearing seatbelts and that they haven't indicated, or that they're speeding, or that they've done the wrong thing. You can't not see it. Once you're trained to notice it and see it, you see it all the time. And police will laugh. But when you've got your partner trained to actually call clear left when you're about to do a right-hand turn, clear left, which is shortened to cleft.
Which that happens inside a car?
When you're in a work car, police car, your partner, your colleague will call cleft, which is clear left. So as you're coming out to do a right-hand turn, they're double-checking. So it's another set of eyes making sure that you're clear. Because you never used to be able to see out very well out of those vans, right? But now it's a bit easier to be able to see out of them. But years ago, your offsiders was to call clear left. So you found that your wife or your partner was calling clear left as well for you. But what we're saying is you see all these crimes, you see things. It was discussed on the radio here today in Tom Elliott's show on AW, that it was discussed that you could take a policeman for a drive around and say, illegal cigarettes are being sold there. This bikie club is displaying its colours. This person's riding a bike without their helmet on. This person's jaywalking. This person's just gone through a red light. That's true. Don't think the police don't see all of those things as well. But where's the priority, right? Do you get stuck dealing with that one person? You've got to remember, police now generally short-staffed, running from one job to the next. They don't have just the time to cruise around and just go and write a ticket out for someone that's
for every little thing,
for a helmet.
Does that become a priority then? What's the priority for an officer?
Well,
what's the message they've received that they need to give attention to?
We don't know that, and that's the key point. We don't know what's sitting on their screen in relation to what tasks they've already got that they're heading to, and it doesn't mean it's going to be a lights and sirens job, because that's risky.
We'll take some calls, 133693. Let's kick it off in Guildford in WA. Laz, hello.
Tony, how you going, mate?
Really well. Say hello to Roger Sutherland as part of Australia Overnight, Laz.
Oh, hello, Roger.
Hello, Laz. How are you?
You wanted to say?
Well, I was just talking about the FIFO thing. I'm an ex-FIFO.
Fantastic. Tell us all about it. What did you find really difficult about it?
I never really found it difficult.
Fantastic.
I never, because you're surrounded by so many amazing people.
Agree with that. It's a bond with your colleagues, isn't it? Tell me, Les, what was your rotations? What did your rotations look like as a fly-in, fly-out?
My first job, when I got my foot in the door, my roster was 1 month on, 1 weekend off.
What? Hang on. So
how did that go?
Yeah. So you're doing a month's work, 31 days, and then 1 week, then 1 weekend off.
Yeah. Well, basically 4 weeks on, and then I got the weekend off. Flew back down. I was working up in Karratha. Flew back down on a Friday afternoon. I was back up there on the Sunday afternoon.
So you get 1 day, fly in for 1 day.
2 days off, and you worked 28 days.
Yeah.
Les, gee, that was a pretty...
Do you live in a palace?
Yeah, you must. Must have been pouring the money in there during those days, Les. Good to talk to you, son. Keep in touch. Lynette in Geelong, good morning to you.
A quick pause from today's topic for something vital for every shift worker. That's right, that's you. Now, you know the relentless grind, constant fatigue, struggles with sleep, and that feeling your energy just isn't where it should be. And this is a common story in 24/7 roles, but it just doesn't have to be your workforces. At A Healthy Shift, I've combined 4 decades of frontline experience with cutting-edge science to create the seminar experience. Now, this isn't just a basic workshop. It's a comprehensive, game-changing program that is built to give entire workforces actionable strategies that they need to truly master their wellbeing on any schedule. And they're implemented immediately. Now, beyond the powerful core keynote, I offer specialised add-on workshops which dive deep into women and shift work, fatigue management, and how to work your own roster. Now, these tools empower your colleagues to thrive, improve performance, and boost their health, helping your organisation to retain valuable staff. Now, if you believe your workforce deserves better, speak up, because your managers won't know about this vital resource. Click the link in the show notes, download the e-brochure, and put it up the line. Invest in your team's most valuable asset, their health.
Good morning. My grandson in Perth, he'll be 20 in the early February. He's at university now, and he's working at Gina Reinhardt's mine up north. It's almost to Port Hedland.
Yep, know the area well. So how many weeks in a row does he do and then come back?
Now he works 1 full week. A Tuesday is the day on, and a Tuesday the next week is the day off. And he comes down to Perth for the whole week. Then he goes back again for the whole week.
Yep.
And he's doing that until February the 13th, I think it is, and he's back to university then.
Now, is it part of his FIFO with his work? Is that part of his uni studies as well with what he's doing? Or is
yes.
That's fantastic. What a great setup.
Now, he said to us that it's 40 degrees, between 38 and 42 degrees, and he's had a complete hair shaven. He looks terrible.
Hang on, nothing
says
wrong.
Nana.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let me tell you, been there, done all that.
Lynette,
It's a great look.
So he's doing that. So he flies up for a week. He obviously would do a week of nights and a week back.
Yes.
What is he actually doing? So I would imagine that the mine are paying him to study. Technically, theoretically.
They are.
So what's he?
They are.
So this is another way for people to get education and get skilled in what they're doing, isn't it? Not just going along and doing a job, but getting skilled. That's fantastic.
Skills.
What's he doing?
That's right. Yeah, he loves it.
And so is he driving? Is he? What's he doing? Driving machinery? What's he do up there? Do you know?
No, he's working in the office part,
Right.
and occasionally every day he goes down the mines or something and
Fantastic.
looks at what they've got and everything. But he's only a student who is learning the job.
Amazing. What a great foundation for
it.
it.
It is fantastic.
Fantastic.
So we hear the bad stories about young people. There's a young bloke who's taking a bit of a risk.
At 20, doing fantastic. Amazing. Proud Nana. Well done, Lynette.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, we'll do this when we come back. Your calls, Pete Artie. You're next. 133 693. Lots of texts. We'll get to them as well. Roger Sutherland's here. Tony McManus. It is Australia Overnight. G'day, Tony McManus for Australia Overnight. Nice to have your company wherever you are right across Australia. And Roger Sutherland is here. He is a former copper, 40-plus years in the biz, and has a thing we call a healthy shift. Speaking of great shift workers, I don't know whether you met Leith Forrest. Leith is the back...
I've heard you speak to him before.
Yeah, nights on 5AA. Leafy, nice to talk.
Hello. Always lovely to speak to you. Happy New Year. First and foremost, Roger's been on my show here in Adelaide. He may not remember, but I want to congratulate you on having Van Halen coming out of the break, Tony. That's nice.
I know, thank you. It's production value we go for here, Leaf. Production value.
Hey, I love the chat. I'm driving home after the show here in Adelaide, and it's interesting, Roger, because my dad became a FIFO late in life just before he retired. And loved it, because I think for people of an older generation, absence makes the heart grow fonder. You're not in your wife or husband's lives all the time, so you get some separation. It's a good financial boost. You can top up the super before you're finished, and then when you get to come home, you get to see loved ones that you haven't seen, which I think works for relationships and families really well.
Yeah, Leith, I think that's a really, really good point that you've made there too, because not only that, but as you get later in life, having a bond with your colleagues at work, and there's nothing quite like a FIFO, because you have got the same crew that you go with. You would look forward to spending the time with them, being with them, doing the things with them. But then you get to go home and rekindle that relationship at home as well. Instead of winding down and spending more and more time at home, you get to have that break for a bit. And as you said, earn the money, top up the super. Off you go overseas, spend the money that you've got that you've made in that time. I think it's a really good observation. Your dad obviously enjoyed doing that, and it worked for them.
He had a role, Tony, which was like a HR type administration role. He was in one of the air-conditioned huts, like in Moomba and places like that. But it was so hot, they had a rule where he had almost like a colour chart when you go into Bunnings in the paint section.
Yep.
And they would have to go out every hour, every 2 hours, whatever it was. They would collect urine samples from the workers, and if you came into a particular shade of colour, if you were dehydrated, off the site into the room, you lost your money. So everyone was religious with their hydration to make sure they didn't lose any money.
And you know why they do that, Leaf? Because dehydration leads to fatigue, which leads to accidents, poor concentration. So when people are properly hydrated, it actually shows that they're functioning properly as well, because a lot of people get very confused with, they get tired, but it's actually dehydration.
Yeah, every day 40 degrees plus, or, the cool changes in it's only 38. So
yeah, well, that's right. Father no longer with us, Leith?
No, still with us. Retired now,
fantastic.
living on Highmarsh Island here in Adelaide, just loving life. So no, but it was great. Like they Mum and Dad thought it was terrific for like a relationship point of view, because it was that thing where you have a little bit of independence, but you also, a couple of weeks later you get to hang out. It's a great way for people who getting on in life may not be able to get as much work as they could have previously, the FIFO financially. So set you up in retirement. And as you say, you get to spend some time with the boys, and then when you're away from the boys, you get to see your family. And,
awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. Got a lot of merit. Great to talk to you, Leith Forrest there.
You too.
You too. We'll talk from time to time, Leithy. Good to hear your voice. Thank you. 133693. Pete's in Port Melbourne. Peter, go ahead. Good morning.
Guys, good morning. Roger, how are you going?
Good morning, Peter. How are you this morning?
Yeah, pretty good. Roger, I have a question about these new gun laws that have come up. I know that you've been a cop for the last 40 years, and you've probably been on the beat a lot of times at night and during dangerous times in the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. Yep. Yeah. Can you honestly tell me, take your hat off, cop hat off, and past cop hat off, how dangerous is it knowing that people could have guns at home, or when you go to domestic violence, does that thing play knowingly?
Great question. Yeah, great question.
Yeah, always.
And compared to what...
your phone's just struggling.
He's got a dreadful phone. He refuses to get a new one. But he makes a good point. I mean, there's always that risk factor, presumably, Roger,
you're always doing your due diligence, and you're always doing a risk assessment as you're going to any task. A lot of people take a lot of these things for granted, Tony, that when you're going to a job, as you're driving to the job, you and your colleague are discussing, we'll do this is how we'll go, you do that, who's going to speak, who's going to stand back, who's going to watch, who's doing this. And it's a dynamic environment. You are constantly working, doing that. It's exhausting, doing it all the time.
But you couldn't do it any other way.
You have to do that.
And this is not Hollywood. This is reality.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is, yeah.
Good on you, Pete. Now, Mike from Emerald. Hello, Mike. Are you still fly in, fly out?
Oh, no, I did it for 12 years. I don't do it anymore. But I was just going to disagree with a couple of callers. I mean, it might work for a few people, but especially families with young kids.
Hard work.
The dad's going away and not seeing their children. I mean, I've got 14 of my best mates that have done FIFO, and 9 of those have broken marriages because of the. I know they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, but too much absence is detriment to the relationship, and that's what most of my mates have said, and basically, and what I've said too over many years is I've missed my kids growing up. I mean, it's good money.
Yes,
it's all right, but when you miss your kids and you can't bring that time back, you struggle with that thought. 100%, later in life.
100%, Mike. I totally agree with you on that as well. But I think, in fairness to what Leith said as well, it was a later in life thing he was doing that.
Yeah.
So the point that you make, going away for a week and spending a week with the boys, or when you're up in the mine, that's going to cause all sorts of issues at home because the wife's being left at home, or the husband's left at home with the kids and raising the kids on their own. You'd have to have a really good relationship to be able to cope with that. But I think with what Leith has said, it was a later in life thing that the kids are obviously grown up and left, and he's just topping up the super with it. I think that was a different sort of dynamic there.
Good on you, Michael. Thank you. 133693. Artie, good morning.
Good morning, Tony and Roger, or should I say VKC to 251. Welcome back and Happy New Year.
Artie, you're all over it, aren't you? Well done.
Yeah, IBR, Information Bureau of Records.
Yeah. Just so for other people that know, the 251 is the sergeant patrolling the road.
Anyway, I seen after so many years on the news that the Altona police station is up for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 71, and I had a few mates working. I was just wondering if you ever worked at that station.
I never worked at Altona. No, I did not. See, there's that down that way now. Severely shortly policed, because they've all gone into central areas. Like, this is what's happened with a lot of the smaller police stations now. They've all gone into these super police stations. Closed a lot of the smaller ones.
That's the business model.
That's a business model. But this is not only here in Victoria. This is everywhere that they're doing this now as well. They seem to think that it works better. I would argue, but yeah, I don't know. Not sure about that.
But that might be, good on you, Artie. Artie, thank you. That might be sort of the reference that many people would make in industry about the particular industry, say, a bit of back in my day, this is how we did it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, we're dynamic now. I was devastated to see the old Brunswick police station was sold and became a restaurant. It was a gem of a restaurant because it had the old police memorabilia. You could walk in and it had where you would stand at the watch house counter. Yeah. It was amazing. I went past it the other day and it's gone. It's closed. Like, that was. I used to meet up with friends.
The building's still there.
The building's still there, but it's closed. Yeah,
it's
not a restaurant anymore. It was what was it? I can't remember what it was called.
So
now.
Just they're empty. In Brunswick, just empty.
Next, where the railway line used to go across, the old Brunswick police station used to sit there. And yeah, they turned it into a restaurant. It was a great restaurant. I used to meet a couple of friends there, and it was just very nostalgic going into the old police station.
Come and join us, 133693. Jeff, you're in Adelaide. We'll come to you very shortly. Lots of calls coming in. If you'd like to be part of it, you'll jump on board now, 133693. It's Roger Sutherland. I'm Tony McManus, and we're talking about shift work. Those that have done shift work over the years, who, how, why, when and where, particularly fly in, fly out, and the challenges around. We'll come back because I think it's pretty important, Rog. One of the issues in the last few weeks has been numbers of police officers. Where do they come from? The training, have we got enough? Why are young people perhaps not necessarily considering it as a career?
Why would you now? Don't get me wrong, but we'll talk about that after the break because, we'll have a chat about that.
That's next. Australia Overnight. Hush Puppy Shoes was mentioned from memory, I hope I get this right. It's been around for a little while, that tipping point, and people go, you're just catching up with it. Well, I read it some years ago. It is a great book, but it talks about things that take off in the world.
And why.
And why do they take off? Yep. One of which was Hush Puppy Shoes.
Yeah.
Where Hush Puppy Shoes were off the boil, and then somebody somewhere started to wear them, and they went from making I don't know what it was, but let's say it was 15,000 pairs a month to like 280,000 pairs a week.
But why?
To keep up.
And
why?
this is the thing. It's because I have to play the social media game every day in the business, right? As in, you put something out. You can put a lot of work into a post, nothing. Just nothing. And then people can do something really stupid and it goes viral, millions.
So,
why?
And nobody
Why?
really
And no
knows
one
why.
knows why.
Yeah,
It's a psychology, but no one knows why it happens.
the idea of petty. We'll get back to calls in just a moment. Come and join us, 133 693, and linked into hydration as well, too, by the way. We'll come to you shortly, Paul. Stay there. Why the idea of petty crime, or what used to be called petty crime, do they still call it petty crime?
Well, be trivial or petty crime. You could call it summary offences, but petty crime.
Offences. Yep. But so, yeah. But it starts at that level.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think a 12, 13, 14-year-old is doing a Berg first up. I don't know.
No, they're not. No. It starts with a whole range of things. You generally find that people that are committing serious crime today have had a history where it started way back when and it wasn't dealt with, or they just didn't respect it back then. This is the biggest problem we've got now. These youths today that are not getting locked up, getting bail, or etc. Why would they respect? Why would they not commit crime? Why would their friends, like, don't get me wrong, but it almost becomes everyone's watching. He's committing crimes and he's getting away with it. Why wouldn't I do it? Like, everything is going on in the world today and they're getting away with it. So why wouldn't I just do it?
Let me ask you a tough question. Historically, if you were talking to people, with colleagues with whom you worked for many, many years, and those that are still in the job around Australia, would some of the serving officers make observations, kindly or otherwise, about those that are committing crime linked into migrant families?
Yes, absolutely.
They
100%.
They would be conscious of that on a regular basis.
100%. 100%. It's a major problem that we have here now.
To deal with every day, every week, every month.
You asked me, did this happen back in the 80s? No. We had serious crime, but they were armed robbers that were holding up banks, right, and armour guard vans back in the 80s. This is what they were doing, right? They were no threat to Tony McManus walking down the street. None whatsoever. You were safe as houses in that time. However, today you go into the city and we've seen the vision. And I think the vision was shocking, but these sort of things happen all the time. Of that young Asian girl that was coming from the sushi restaurant, the chef that got stabbed, right? For nothing, just walking along.
Random.
This is common now. Common crime against the person, people getting chased with machetes. What nation has machetes as a weapon of choice? Not Australia. Not Australia. Australians don't have machetes as a weapon of choice. It's come culturally from another country, and now we are dealing with it. And then we had $18 million worth of bins that no way were they going to put them in
Victoria.
In Victoria.
So a young person, just trying to get into the mindset, I guess, Rog, a young person, 12, 13, 14, is this behaviour, presumably it's learned behaviour?
Yep, I would suggest. What about the other thing as well? Let's have a think about this. When you were growing up and I was growing up, we didn't have Grand Theft Auto and games like that, or these video games that you've got to go and assault people and murder people and race cars at high speed and things like that. These people are playing Grand Theft Auto in the public now. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're literally living it. What psychological, I'd like, you could speak to a psychologist and ask the psychologist, what impact is playing those games and the social media having on these people now that makes them feel like they can just go out and do whatever they want?
Great question. If anybody knows the answer to that, 133 693. In Adelaide. Hello, Paul.
Gentlemen, trust you well.
Well, sensational. Thank you.
I just want to touch on, you spoke about hydration. I spent 29 years working in a foundry and quickly learnt that the more hydrated you were, the easier you got through the shift. There were days, like in the middle of summer, it was like 60 up to 60 degrees in certain parts of the foundry. And you soon learnt that the more water you pump through your system, the easier it was to get through the shift. You know, it was.
Paul, say this louder for the people up the back. Like, seriously, say that loud. Hydration is horrendously underestimated, isn't it? Now, you've noticed that yourself, and it's not only where it's hot. Like, obviously, in a hot environment, you are sweating more. So, therefore, you know, you're losing the salts and the sodium and potassium, and you lose all your electrolytes out as you sweat. But people underestimate the power of hydration on your system. The more hydrated you are, the better you function. The better you function. Fatigue, and Paul, you'll know as well, you don't get hungry overnight when you're hydrated, because hunger signals and dehydration signal comes from the same place in the brain, right? And the brain, as clever as it is, gets confused with which signal is which. And if people that get hungry, if they were to have a big glass of water and wait, sometimes you can find that it was dehydration, it wasn't actually hunger, and it can stop you from having that snack before you even thought about it. Do you notice that, Paul?
Sure, yeah. Like, you think you're hungry,
Yep.
and you think, oh, I need something to eat to keep walking, or
Yep.
you know, whatever you do. But yeah, if you have, like, you know, a bottle of water,
Yep.
within 2-3 minutes you feel much better than what you were, and progressively, yeah, like
100%.
So Paul, when you're doing that and you're drinking an enormous amount of water, as you
Yes.
say, and you learned that pretty quickly, how do you then manage? And I've got to be a bit delicate about this. When you constantly go
Gotta go to the
for a pee,
bathroom. No, you get used to it.
You get used to it, or does your body adjust to that?
Your body adjusts to it. When you first start drinking a lot of water, you're wanting to go to the bathroom all the time. It's flushing through you all the time. But when you do drink a lot of water, over time, your bladder adjusts to it, because that signal to go to the bathroom doesn't become as loud. You get used to it because it knows that this is happening. But I'll give you another hint. Here's a hint for you. People drinking a lot of water, put a pinch of Himalayan salt into your water, because salt is a water retentor and it holds water a
So
little
put
bit
in
more.
what? Himalayan.
The pink salt, because it doesn't taste as salty.
Right.
But you can put a pinch of salt into your water as well. It has a dual purpose. Number one, it actually is an electrolyte, the sodium going back in. One of the biggest problems that we have with people who drink a lot of water is they're flushing all the electrolytes out of their system as well. And we want to make sure that you are putting those back in. So while we are encouraging people to drink a lot of water, we also want them to put the sodium in particular back in. Now, if you're putting a bit of salt into your water, not so it tastes like seawater, like we're not talking about that. We're just talking about putting a bit of salt in it.
Yeah.
Salt actually helps us to retain water, so we don't need as much, and it stops us from going to the bathroom all the time as well. So for those on night shift, if you're going to drink water from 3 a.m., bit of salt in it. It'll help you to retain it.
Thank you. There's a tip. If you could, Jackson, bring in the salt for tomorrow, that'd be handy with us.
Lip sip suck it'll be, won't
Paul,
it?
yeah, thanks. Paul, well done. We'll do that. Paul, thank you. Lots of text too. One in particular says, often there is an alpha or leader.
Yeah.
Take away their power by reducing their followers. I mean, I guess presumably experts looked at this. Often those who are passengers, say, for example, stolen car, receive no punishment. Followers could be punished too, or minimum, warn parents and families that their behaviour, there will be consequences if and when involved in an incident again. Is that too micro?
I'll tell you now, the parents don't care. I'll be categorical. The people that are driving around in stolen cars, everyone says, and I see it all the time on social media, where are the parents? I can tell you the parents don't care. They got no idea. And even if I went, if
I'm pleased you said that, because I've said that on air and said, look, I don't think the parents care.
No, they don't.
And many will go into meltdown. Well, why don't they care?
Why? Because it's just conditioned. They've just given up. If Constable Tony and Constable Roger were on the van and we took young Jackson back to his mum and dad and said he's been driving around in a stolen car, they've done a ram raid, they've done a few agbergs, they're doing all that sort of stuff there, the parents would go, oh, but I've tried to talk to him and nothing works and it's just a waste of time. They can't do anything about it. And majority of these kids are resi kids as well. You know, when I say resi, they're like
the old ward of the state type kids that don't have parents that are being cared for. A
What
lot
do you
of
call
them
it?
are
Resi.
like
I've never heard that expression.
residential kids.
Oh,
Resi
residential
kids.
children. Okay.
Sorry, it's a term.
Yeah.
But and I know you love them, don't you?
Well,
Resi
I'd
kids.
never heard it. And
It's
if
a
I haven't
term
heard
that
it, there'd
we
be others wouldn't have heard it. either.
You'll find any cop that's listening to this, no matter where you are in the country, would know what a resi kid is. But the resi kids are the kids that the parents have lost control. I've got no idea. So they're made basically what we used to call a ward of the state years ago.
Oh, okay, right.
And they're in shared houses, and it's just incestuous. The whole thing. We're not saying incestuous. It's poor choice.
We've got to do this break. When we come back, 133693, because it just gets it somewhere in there's got to be an answer, because we're going to have this same conversation again in 2 weeks' time, in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, there has to be a circuit breaker, doesn't there?
Somewhere there's got to be the circuit breaker.
Yep.
And government don't seem to know how to manage it.
Well, they don't.
Culturally, I don't know whether we know how to manage it.
And then we had Brad Batten. We had Brad Batten standing up as the Liberal that looked like we were heading
for
in the
those
right
around
direction.
Australia, Brad Batten was
the opposition leader here in Victoria. That looked like he was going to stand up and go really well, and then the Liberals slaughtered him as well.
Don't start me.
Yeah, I know.
If we haven't got strong opposition, that's part of the problem as well.
We don't have anything. It's the same group now.
Yeah, 133693. The text line, we'll get to your text as well, 0477 693 693 for Australia overnight. Good morning. Vince, we'll come to you very shortly. The other thing, of course, is that many families right across Australia too have quite often two people working. That changes culturally, I guess, how Australia looks and how it will look forward, because both mum and dad are away from the home. Little Taker's coming home from school, I would imagine. Where you and I got home from school, there were bickies in the jar.
Yep.
Now you get home, mum and dad not there, you can do bugger all.
Well, the kids have been sent home in an Uber, and they're ordering Uber Eats. There's a great text here, Tony. Maybe the parents could start caring if the courts impose monetary bail conditions on their kids. Now, this is a really good text that ends in 887. There's no monetary bail. We talk bail and people think money now.
There isn't.
There's no money. They're bailed on their own undertaking to be in court, and that doesn't work. And I think if I said to a mum and dad, if you want young Tony out, it's going to cost you, you're going to put a bail up for $100,000.
But what if they don't have $100,000?
Well, the child sits inside, or they got to raise it somehow, or the child sits in the jug. This is
I'm not saying
I said 100,000
in a prison.
Yeah.
How much does it cost to keep that child in prison?
Well, this is the thing. But what's it costing society? Who are we protecting? The crook, or are we protecting the society? This is the problem that we've got today. We have lost the plot. We need to start protecting the public.
Vince, good morning.
Good morning, Tony, and good morning, Roger.
Good morning, Vince. How are you?
Good, thanks. Just in reference, two things. Firstly, the restaurant you were talking about, a friend of mine designed and developed that one. It's called the Cop Shop.
That's right. Thank you very much, Vince. It was a beauty, wasn't
it? Yeah, it was. He then sold it, and I haven't been back since then, and I don't know what's happened to it. And I guess you've actually touched on that. It's probably here. But actually, I have driven past, and there's nothing there. It seems as if
it looks empty,
dormant.
But it was a beauty. Polished floors, and it still had it had everything. It was all laid out, and it had pictures of the police that worked there, and the station photos up on the wall, and the old police sign from out the front. Thanks, Vince. You've solved it.
You're welcome.
I wouldn't have been able to sleep when I got home.
There you go. Yeah. The second thing, just in reference to the Liberal Party in Victoria, I'm a member. Look, I think Brad Batten, a great guy, very good in terms of the crime issue, but I think that he was just too one-dimensional on that issue, and there's a whole range of other issues that need to be fixed in Victoria.
So many.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I do agree.
And you got to say, why is the coalition nationally now so what appears to be so dysfunctional?
Yep. Look, to be honest with you, I was talking about this with my wife, and I don't think I can. I don't think I can renew. I mean,
it's hard, isn't it?
It seems as if they stand for different things now.
Do they actually stand for different things? Do you think Liberal and Labor stand for different things, or do you see them more aligning now?
They're the same. I mean, there's no delineation.
Different colour,
what is
isn't
it?
it?
They stand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just same people, different colours.
And yet, good on you, Vince. Great call. And
fantastic.
Yet
Thank you.
there are so many things on which they do agree.
Yes.
And that should be kept in mindful of that as well. There are so many things. There are things that we see, say, watching Parliament, where they obviously disagree, but they agree on way more.
Yeah.
Than what the things on which they disagree. We'll do this when we come back. 133 693. It's Australia Overnight. Morning. It's an interesting conversation that we could do for another hour or so. We've run out of time, Rog, but the idea of just putting young people, 13, 14, 15, 16, into a prison, at ballpark $200,000+ a year. Yep. Are we prepared to pay for that?
Well, it was discussed that maybe we should start getting to clean the graffiti up and start weeding
exactly
the nature strips
and
road crews.
That, I think, is fantastic.
Because that used to work in the US years ago as well, having road crews, supervised road crews. You're in your orange overalls. You're standing on the side of the road. You're pulling the weeds out.
The graffiti in various parts around Australia is
horrendous,
so dreadful. It's awful.
It is.
Mate, if people want to contact you, A Healthy Shift,
ahealthyshift.com. Everything about me is on that.
Every little thing, pictures and all,
and the podcast and the pictures.
The podcast. Yep. Roger Sutherland, we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you.
A regular contributor is our Roger Sutherland, Australia Overnight.